My name is Meera Ramachandran, and I will be your guide as you go through this exciting integration journey today. Are you ready? One more time. Are you ready? Awesome. I see a number of marketing and sales and service leaders in this audience right here. I don't have to tell you that you have more touch points with your customers today than you ever had before. You are sitting atop a wealth of data, a wealth of information that you can use to provide personalized experiences to your customers. Yet, many organizations tell us that they're not able to do this just because their systems are not integrated. And that's why we are here today. We're going to be talking about MuleSoft, the world's #1 integration platform, and how we can help you connect those legacy systems, connect those on-premises systems, connect those cloud systems, connect those SaaS applications, all of it to your digital channels of engagement. So before we begin, I have this customary forward-looking statement. Please make purchasing choices based on products that are commercially available. And before I jump into our content, I want to take a step back and share a story with you that I heard a couple of years ago. Imagine that you are in the medieval times. Not medieval times, the restaurant in New Jersey, in the medieval world. And you're walking along the countryside. There's a lot of dirt, there's a lot of dust. And you see a man holding a sledgehammer. And he's breaking rocks. What's going on here, you ask? He says, I'm breaking rocks. You keep going for a few more miles. You see another man. He's also smashing rocks. You ask the same question. He says, I am making a living. You keep going for a few more miles. This time you see a third man, also holding a sledgehammer, also smashing rocks. What's going on here? I am building a cathedral. To all you trailblazers out there, I want to say thank you for helping us build cathedrals. You guys inspire us. You guys bring us to work every day. It's because of you that we show up. You enrich our lives. And that is why I am really excited to share with you how we can help you enrich the lives of your consumers. World Economic Forum says that we are in this 4th industrial revolution. You might ask, what is the 4th industrial revolution? It's really a term to specify that we are in a period of such rapid technological changes that the very fabric, the very foundation of our society is evolving. Let's take an example. I can pick up my phone, hit a button, and a car will show up at my doorstep. In some cities of the world, that car won't even have a driver. Let's take another example. When I check into my hotel, I'm not walking up to the front desk to check in and get a card. I check in from my phone, I walk straight to my room, I hit a button, open the door, and that's Marriott. When I leave my hotel room in the morning, I'm not going to a Starbucks and placing an order, waiting there for 5 minutes to pick it up. I do that beforehand. I do it as I leave my hotel room. I pick up my cup of coffee. In my case, it's a chai tea latte. I pick that up as soon as I get there. Oh, and by the way, that's the one time they get my name right. So these are the experiences that our consumers are getting. And these experiences are shaping their expectations in such a way that if your organization is not able to deliver on that expectation, they're willing to switch. So it's very important for you as a company to be able to deliver that expectation of this connected consumer. In Salesforce, we here at Salesforce, we stress upon this a lot, more than you know. This is what we live and breathe. Right? We connect your sales experience to your marketing experience, to your service experience, and beyond. We do all of that. But the truth is, not all your data actually lives within your Customer 360 platform. You still have data that is living in a legacy system that your company acquired maybe 20 years ago. You still have that system that you purchased to do that one-off project, that SaaS project. There is a third-party application sitting somewhere. You still have those custom applications that your wonderful IT team built once upon a time. You still have all of those. And that is where MuleSoft comes into the picture. MuleSoft helps you bring all the data, helps you unlock all the data from all the applications, all the devices that you have out there, and surface it to your Customer 360 platform as well as to the rest of your organization. And that is why I'm thrilled to tell you, and you already know this, 18 months ago, Salesforce acquired MuleSoft to embark upon this journey where Salesforce can bring together all the wonders of all the customer data everywhere spread out in your organization into the Customer 360 platform. Imagine the power of using the #1 integration platform with the #1 CRM platform. For us to explain this in a bit more detail, let's take a look at what a traditional integration approach would look like for a traditional retailer. So what you see up on the screen is the result of a whiteboarding exercise that you once went through. So when you think about your different channels of engagement with your consumer, you're thinking, OK, let me start out with the store, because I'm a brick and mortar vendor. I need to be able to, that store is my primary experience. So I will define my customer journey from awareness to consideration to purchasing to fulfillment and support. I will define this for my store. And then I can deal with my mobile and my web channels later. Almost every company who's been out there for the last 30 years doing this has been doing this, because they all started with the store. When you embark upon that next digital journey, building that mobile application, you go through the same exercise. Same thing for yet another channel, right? This looks well and good in paper, but in reality, when you start implementing against something like this, this is the result. So let me explain to you what this means from the point of view of a consumer. So just this last week, I was walking back to the 33rd Street Penn Station to catch my train home. I work for the Bryant Park office, so it's a little bit of a walk for me. I'm walking along, and I see this perfectly blue sweater on the display of a store. To give you some context, I have a 2-year-old son, and he loves a particular shade of blue. He wouldn't wear a shade lighter or a shade darker. And that's why I call this a perfectly blue sweater. So I walk in the door, I pick up the item, I stand in the line to check out, and the line is really long. And I realized if I stay there, I'll be late to pick him up from the daycare. So I abandoned the item, got on my train, picked up my phone, tried to place a pick-up at store order. But when I looked at the mobile app, they had 0 items available. I mean, it's New York. Things do get sold out. So I didn't really give it much thought. I went home. The next evening, the same thing happened. I walk past the same store. I see the item. I walk in. I think the item was still in the same place. The sweater was in the same place that I had left it. This time, I'm adamant. I stand in the line. I spend the 20 minutes. And I ring it up, bring it home. Now, I have to ask you a question. How many attempts did it take for me to buy that item? 3, yes, 3 attempts. And I'm a particularly patient person, or I'd like to think that. That's what happens when you have a toddler. But most people would just leave it at the first attempt or the second attempt. It took me 3 attempts. But for me, the particularly patient mother, the last straw was 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I got an email in my inbox. All you marketing people here know what I'm talking about. The "Did you forget something in your cart?" email. I click open, and there it is, the blue sweater. And this time, all my memories of purchasing that blue sweater came flashing back. And it's 1 hour of my life I'm never getting back. But most importantly, I was disappointed that this company doesn't know me. They don't understand who I am, what I've done, what I've purchased, how many interactions I've had, just because I'm interacting with you on different channels. And that experience, my friend, is what this portrays. And that is not the experience you want to give to your consumers. So naturally, the question is, how can we do this better? How can we do this differently? And that's where we talk about the MuleSoft approach. So instead of thinking about your digital channels of engagement as a way to portray your core capabilities, you take a step back. You think about your core capabilities as something that's unique to your organization. So you define your customer's marketing journey, merchandising journey. You chart out your customer's journey with your organization, not with your channels. And by doing that, you're going to develop a set of core capabilities for your organization that you can deliver to 2 channels today, 3 channels tomorrow, 30 channels in 3 years, right? You can tweak these experiences by reusing your core capabilities, by reorganizing and orchestrating these core capabilities to deliver newer and better channels of engagement. And something like this cannot be done with custom code. Something like this needs a digital platform. A digital platform that will support your needs today, a platform that will support your evolving needs to take you well into the future as the experiences, the expectations of your consumers change. And MuleSoft's Anypoint Platform is exactly that. So we talked about how the platform can connect data, applications, and devices. It does that, but it also future-proofs your projects, your implementations. So you don't have to worry about the changes that would be coming into your organizations, the changes that you would be responsible for, because these core capabilities and patterns will evolve. Change is the only constant in this equation. You can take a step back. You can take your foot off of that maintenance pedal. Step back, look at the bigger picture, and innovate for your organization. And that is the power of this platform. And you might wonder, when I say platform, what is that made up of? So the foundation of our platform is what we call the modern API. And let me draw a parallel here. When we talk about APIs, the first thing that comes into mind is the internet story. Internet has been out there for a very long time, but it's really the idea of HTML standards and browser technologies that made internet mainstream. Because that's the way you can exchange information. And that is what revolutionized or created the revolution in that 90s. So now in the application world, APIs are providing that channel. APIs are the way your wonderful applications that you acquire over time will communicate with each other. APIs are the way you would share your data with your ecosystem of customers, partners, anything else that's going to come up in the future. And APIs are the foundation of our platform. Now let's take a look at how McDonald's did this. McDonald's is an iconic global brand. But you already knew that. 1 in 8 Americans have worked at a McDonald's in their lifetime. Think about that. They've been so successful for a very long time, a very, very long time. But something changed all of a sudden. The customer changed. Their preferences changed. Their expectations changed. So for the first time in 2015, McDonald's missed their sales targets. And this is a very important part of their journey, right? Because it takes an event of a certain magnitude for you to understand, step back, and think about how you want to engage with your consumers, how you want to build those core capabilities. And they did exactly that. Their executive team understood the value of building the core capabilities independent of their channels of engagement. And what they did was they built a mobile application. They could have gone ahead and built a mobile application, rolled it out without thinking about the core capabilities. Instead of doing that, they built a mobile application keeping in mind where they want to be in the future. They built out their core capabilities, how they want to do order fulfillment, how they want to surface product data. They thought through all of that. And when they had to onboard yet another project, they realized Uber Eats is actually a great idea. Now I want to integrate into Uber Eats. When they wanted to do that onboarding exercise, they could do that in 6 weeks instead of 6 months, which was the original timeline for that project. And they were able to do this because they had spent the time thinking through the design, establishing the core capabilities that they want to deliver to their consumers. And that makes all the difference. Later, when they wanted to integrate with WeChat, they were able to do this in 8 weeks. And WeChat is a Chinese messaging and engagement platform. And they were able to roll out all these projects in such a time frame, and such a short time frame. Think about it. They do billions and billions of transactions on the MuleSoft platform in a month. So a project of this scale, rolling it out in such a short time, that is phenomenal. And that was served with the help of McDonald's application network, which is built on top of Anypoint Platform. Now let's take a look at another one of our customer trailblazers. Let's roll the video.
ASICS was established in 1949. Over those years, the company has had to make quite a few different transitions. In the past, it was all about designing the latest model of shoes. Although that continues to be very important for the company, IT has become more and more important. That's one of the reasons that we acquired a company like Runkeeper, so we can provide those digital services to the runner, track their runs, and provide more than just the shoe. We need to constantly be on their minds when they're going out for that run and lacing up their shoes. For a company like ASICS, it really does mean that IT has to come to the forefront. So building out an e-commerce platform is important to us because we need to be able to connect with customers in many different ways. We have quite a few different brands. We have ASICS Performance, we have ASICS Tiger and Onitsuka Tiger. We also have Hagloft, and we have Runkeeper. In order to build a new e-commerce site, we needed to tie in to all of the back-end systems that each one of those brands had already had configured. So MuleSoft has helped us out by being that communication point between the product systems, order management systems, content management systems, and that e-commerce storefront. We were able to build out this new e-commerce platform in under 6 months by using MuleSoft. MuleSoft has been great for our ability to reuse code. One of the ways that we were able to leverage MuleSoft for reuse was with our order management API. So we wanted to connect to the ASICS OMS system. And then as we moved into one of the other ASICS subsidiaries called Haglofts, they had a different OMS that we needed to connect with. So we were able to use the same API that we had set up in MuleSoft to connect to the Hagloft OMS. We're moving 2.5 times faster than we would have expected to if we had built it out of Java. What developers like the most about using MuleSoft is it allows us to spend all of our time in the application-specific logic and not have to worry about making those connections to the various data sources. MuleSoft is helping to drive our e-commerce strategy, and that's going to allow us to move a lot faster as a company.
I hope you enjoyed that video. Now, ASICS is a global athletic brand. But their problems were not very different from what we discussed already, right? They specialize in runner performance, but their expectations from their consumers were slightly different compared to McDonald's. They were dealing with multiple different brands. So think about this. From an e-commerce perspective, when you're trying to give your consumer a single unified experience, if you have 5 or 6 or 7 different brands that you're trying to bring together to deliver this, it is a pretty big problem to solve for. And ASICS did exactly that with the platform, with the application network. They surface their order data, their inventory data, their product information from globally distributed brands onto the application network so that they could innovate on top of it. They could deliver newer ways to engage with their customers. They could provide their customers newer experiences. And that is why I am thrilled to announce the MuleSoft Accelerator for Salesforce Commerce Cloud. The MuleSoft Accelerator is really a compendium of information, a compendium of experiences that we have gathered by working with companies such as ASICS and McDonald's, so that we can help you accelerate your journeys towards achieving this. So it has best practices, it has templates, it has even implementations of common use cases that you can bring into your organization and use to easily connect your third-party systems, to easily provide those channels of engagement for your consumers. I would highly recommend you stopping by our integration booth and a campground to learn more about these and to think about how you can do what ASICS did, how you can deliver your integrations 2.5 times faster as they did. Thank you once again for your attention, for your presence, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation and the rest of the conference as well.